What really happened with Kliff Kingsbury? How Magic Johnson stole the offensive coordinator from the Raiders. What's up, guys? Swift here, and this one is not a rumor. Antonio Pierce joined the Pivot podcast and talked about this situation. What Magic wants, Magic usually gets. The man who brought LeBron James to the Lakers stole Kliff Kingsbury from the Raiders. Some people didn't even know that Magic was part of the ownership group of the Commanders, but he is. And what happened was Antonio Pierce joined the Pivot podcast, and he confirmed the rumor that I already believed, that Kingsbury's issue wasn't an issue with his contract. It was Magic Johnson who stepped in and convinced Kingsbury to join the Commanders. Magic's one of the most powerful figures in sports, and I already believed this, but people told me I was wrong and that it was a contract issue. Antonio Pierce, the Raiders head coach, put that story to bed himself. He said he went to bed believing that Kliff Kingsbury was going to be his offensive coordinator, but woke up the next morning and things had changed. Pierce then put the blame on Magic Johnson, saying Magic can still dish it out. If I'm going to lose to Magic, I'm okay with that at the end of the day. If it's not meant to be, it's just not meant to be, and that's fine. He seemed to put all of the blame on Magic Johnson, and that's just something we can't ignore here. The entire interview is worth the listen, but the story goes right along with the rumor I talked about earlier this week. Multiple reports surfaced that Magic Johnson had promised that he was going to do whatever he can for Kliff Kingsbury to get him his quarterback. To me, the connection is clear, and now Antonio Pierce has confirmed it himself. Usually we don't hear from head coaches joining podcasts and talking about what actually went down behind the scenes, but this time it happened. I love it. I think it just further points towards the Commanders doing whatever it takes to come get Caleb Williams. Magic Johnson wants to make a splash. Caleb Williams is the biggest splash he can make. He brought in an offensive coordinator he's familiar with and had to make promises to get him to come and spurn the Raiders, but here we are. Kliff Kingsbury is in Washington, and I fully expect him to try to trade up for that number one pick. That does not mean the Commanders will meet Ryan Poles' demands, however, but I do expect them to try. And I don't expect Magic Johnson to give up easily. To me, it makes too much sense. Just get it done, Washington. Thanks to everyone who watches. This was my third video of the day. This is just something I felt I had to talk about, but I didn't want to take up too much of your time, so I kept it short and sweet. I appreciate everyone who watches. Please hit that like button for me, and until next time, bear down.